The future site of the new men's prison in rural Lincoln County, state lawmakers and neighbors continue to ask questions.
This session, the legislature will decide whether to authorize the final funding for the construction of a new men's prison. The project has a maximum price of $825 million. KELOLAND's Julia Lynn has an update on the project and looks at some of the questions that came up during today's 3-hour-long committee hearing.
As crews removed trees and prepared this Lincoln County land to be the site of a new state penitentiary, state lawmakers and neighbors of the site were learning more about the plans in Pierre. Today's budget hearing included both public input and questions. Kaya Broders of Canton says moving the prison to Lincoln County would make it more difficult for medical personnel to service prisoners.
When we do talk about that further environmental study, what will that look like? Because obviously, not only being a close neighbor to that proximity, knowing that lights and sirens will now be a huge factor.
Department of Corrections Secretary Kelly Wasco responded.
We'll handle everything that we can. Yes, if we have a heart attack, we're going to call an ambulance. We're talking 10 to 15 miles at most. Springfield is farther from Yankton, in the middle of a cornfield with neighbors adjacent right across the street.
People also asked state officials when the current demolition was approved.
I was getting texts from people that live around the building that they were just demolishing a 100-year-old barn that was in perfect condition. And I'm trying to figure out what gave them the authority to do that.
Representative Tony Van Huysen of Sioux Falls says approval of planning and site preparation came from House Bill 1017 that passed in 2023. Julia Lynn, KELOLAND News.
New lawmakers were also among those asking questions about the new men's prison. For more details on that, you can go to this KELOLAND.com original by Ray Yost.